camera just died, so I had to swap this one out. So I've now healed the snake for 4. Okay, now it's better war. And, well, first of all, it's now the draw step for the heroes. So Eleanor cannot draw anything because she has no cards that she can draw from. Bedivere, however, is going to draw 2, 4, 6 cards. And she is going to... her wisdom is 2. So she is going to... oh God. No, she can't really. She's going to start traveling now. So she is going to... no, she's actually going to do a heal step. Because she is in Edoras, so she can do this. Just to set her up for the next stage on her journey. Which means the ring moves 1 to the right. And then she's going to start moving. She is going to... yeah, she doesn't have anything, so she's going to make use of her horse. 1, 2, 3. She's going to gather this favor and then she's going to encounter this space. And that is going, actually, yeah. So she's now going to encounter this space, and it's a yellow space, so she draws 3 cards. She's gonna see, and there is one that is actually for her. The remains of the north-south road. For each okay, she gets all of her cards that she has in the damage pool back into her regeneration pool. That's brilliant. Okay, and that's her turn. Now it's our friend Eleanor, and she's going to do a heal step. So she regeneration step. So she gets her regeneration pool back. And then she's not going to do anything. She's just going to sit here. And she's going to encounter this space. 1, 2, 3. They came from Umbar. Roll the drums, black ships are approaching. I take 6 points of damage. 4 points because I have 2 shields, so I have to get rid of 4 more cards. That's brilliant. Super. Now, ain't that great? yeah, so that's that. Now it's Sauron. We're in stage 3. So we get to put the ring wraith, the Lord of the Nazgul out, and we can put him into Minas Morgul or the ruins of Angmar. Minas Morgul or the ruins of Angmar. Yeah, I'm gonna put him into Minas Morgul because that's where everything's really happening, isn't it? Okay. Okay. I'm going to play a plot. No, well, I am actually going to discard a plot. No, I'm not going to discard a plot. I am going to not do anything with regard to plots. I'm going to skip my plot phase. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play what am I going to do? Yeah, why not? I'm going to move no, first of all, I'm going to take 6 influence. And then am I going to discard that plot up there? Actually, I am going to discard a plot. Then I'm going to start spreading influence. I'm going to start spreading influence to Fangorn. And how many do I have in Dol Guldur? 3. Then I'm going to put 3 into Isengard. And I'm going to put just for good measure, I'm going to put one up here. Then I'm going to move or add monsters. I'm going to put a monster. No, actually I'm going to put it up here on the Old Forest Road. I'm going to put a monster into Isengard. That's blue. Then I'm going to move. He's going to move here. And this guy is now done with her. He's just going to move 1, 2 to Belfalas. Oh, I forgot the, yeah, I forgot to do the 1, 2, 3. Warrior of the Littlest Eye. He can place one, I can place 1 influence and 1 in addition. Okay, this reads, Sauron can place 1 influence and 1 monster in each field adjacent to Gothmog of Gorgoroth. Okay, so I don't really have to take them from my pool. I can just do this. So of course I will. So this one goes here. This one goes here. 1, 2, 3. So that's that. I can't put any more there. And then I'm gonna add lots and lots of purple monsters. One goes here. Whoops. Oh yeah, I can actually put one there. One goes here, and one goes here. Okay. And one goes to Belfalas, and one goes to the Etten Moors. And they are purplish up here. Okay. That was an interesting thing. Okay, so that should have happened before I did what I just did, but that's still fine. So this one has got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because Barad-dûr has enough, yeah, so that's fine. Okay, good. So now it's the draw step. Bedivere gets to draw 6 cards. 4, 6. And Eleanor would get to draw 6 cards, but she only has 5, so she's going to draw those. And now it's Bedivere, and Bedivere is really screwed now because she wanted to resolve this plot, which is now not only perilous, but has also got this monster. This plot would require 5 for her to get. So she is going to oh God, this is terrible. Yeah, first she's going to she is going to play this card to get to Tharabad to collect this. And then she's going to have an encounter in this space. The Ranger. I was tired and really annoyed when he found me. He had been traveling far. His eyes and his green cloak showed years and years of toil and trouble. But he was speaking with impressive strength. That which Arnor once represented is still alive for those with a pure heart. Will you come with me? The hero shuffles their regeneration pool into their life pool. And that's what she does. Super. Now it's Eleanor. And Eleanor has now completely kind of like, you know, she is now able to do something. She's going to move. And she's going to do the following. She's going to explore Harad, near Harad. She gets +1 strength. So her strength is now 7. No, sorry, her strength is then 6. I misspoke. And she gets to train, so she gets to draw 2 cards and she can choose one. Yeah, she's going to take this one. And put it in her hand. And then she's going to put Denethor into Minas Tirith. And she can look at her advanced quest. And that quest reads, hidden in the Ashen Mountains. She needs to go to Barad-dûr. Super, yeah. That would be over here. Now, that ain't gonna happen, I'm afraid. That's not going to happen. Yeah. No. Okay. So now she has done this, and now she can encounter the space. She can actually not speak to Boromir, but she can encounter the space. So she draws 3 cards. None of which are assigned to her space, so she can't do anything, so that ends her turn. Yeah. Next up is Sauron. Rally step, doesn't happen. Everyone moves 2. Not at all. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we don't get to place anyone anymore. I'm gonna bring in a new plot. Grima Wormtongue corrupts Theoden. And in order to play it, you either need to have Saruman Saruman commits treason in play, which we do, or you need to have 6 markers of influence within 1 space of Edoras. Now Edoras is here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plenty, so we can play this easily. It affects Edoras, so we're going to put this here. Just so this is a little more visible, we're going to put this here. So that's our plot phase. Now, what are we going to do? This plot is really well protected over here. We could really annoy Eleanor, and I think we will. We're going to move him into this space where she is, and we can place 1 monster. Where would I want to place a monster? Yeah, I'm going to place a monster up there. That's green. On the Old Forest Road. And then I have 1 more. I keep skipping the... Okay, yeah. For some reason, I find it really weird that... Yeah. Okay, so I have 1 more action that I can take. And I think I'm going to draw cards. I draw 2 shadow cards and 2 plot cards. I get to keep all of the shadow cards. And plots. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. Okay. So now we're gonna have the event phase. We play the lowest. Radagast the Brown. Radagast the Fool. Radagast the Brown is certainly a virtuous Istar. A master of shape-shifting and colour-shifting, and he knows a lot about herbs and animals, and birds are his special friends. Each hero who has more than 4 or more favor needs to drop 1. Super. That means Bedivere is further away from solving anything than she was before. Well, she could try plot number 3, which is up there. Well, good luck. Okay, 1 favor ends up in the Rosgobel, or Rosgobel as I like to call it. Where is Rosgobel? Over here. And 1 is sent to the plains of Gorgorod. Okay. Okay. So that's that. They get discarded. And now the heroes get to draw cards. So Bedavor is going to draw 6 cards. Eleanor is not going to draw anything because she can't. And she's going to get ambushed. So Bedavor is going to at least try and solve the issue. And in theory she can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and she doesn't have to confront anything. So she's just going to discard 8 cards. 2, 4, 6, 8. And she's then going to dislodge 1 plot. She's now in a haven. She's now going to draw 3 cards, and she has one in Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. The hero gains 1 favor. If the hero's bravery, okay, that doesn't apply because she doesn't have any corruption cards, but it would have been nice. Okay, so that's her done. Next up is our dear friend Eleanor, who is going to be attacked by Sauron, by Sauron's Witch King. And Sauron is going to play Betrayed, which means she has to discard 2 of her cards randomly. Discarded. And her strength is now only 5. And the Witch King has bravery 10, so he gets to draw 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And his strength is 10. Let's see who takes precedent, shall we? And it is a draw. Let's do it again. And it is the Witch King. Who would have thought? So he gets to draw 3 cards. She gets to draw 2 cards. This card goes away. This is fun. We're going to play this. Let's see what he plays. He's going to play this. She takes 4 points of damage. She is dead. Well, she's defeated. That's the end of this. She gets moved to the nearest haven, which is Minas Tirith. The leftmost marker moves 1. And everything gets shuffled back together for her, and that's it. And now the game is over, because now the story marker advances, and it advances by 2 for the heroes and by 4 for Sauron's influence. Because we've got 2 plots in play which both move Sauron's influence marker forward by 2 each. And now we have the finale. And what happens is you now check whether either of the parties have managed to fulfill their quest. Now the heroes would win if there wasn't more than 2 monster tokens in play. Monster tokens and not minions, but there are. There is 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. That's 4 up there, 5 down here, 6, 7, 8. So that didn't work. However, Sauron wins if the black marker has managed to progress to the 3rd stage. It's actually in the finale space, in the last one. So Sauron wins. So that is the game. I think it's an interesting game. I think the combat system, the way I've tweaked it, makes sense for solo play. And there is a lot to keep track of, obviously, because, you know, you have so many moving parts and so many things to think about, because it's not a solo game. So the idea is that you would play it against someone, and then, of course, one person would look after Sauron, whereas the other person or people would look after the heroes. So I find it a bit counterintuitive, the way in which the Sauron player goes through his turn, because I keep forgetting about the event phase, because it comes before his action phase, which I find a bit strange. So I really have to remember it. But, you know, that's just me. That's just not being familiar with the rules. I will be honest, I'm very disappointed in the fact that there are so few cards. I mean, it's ridiculous to just have 5 and 5, for example, for these final quests. I also find it problematic that each hero only has 2 starting quests, and if one of them is Eleanor, and if she draws the Near Harad one, you can completely ruin her game by simply leaving this guy in Near Harad, because the Black Snake is the 2nd most powerful minion with 11 hit points. Only the Witch King has more, and he's got 13. But then again, he is the Witch King, so you would expect him to have the most. But if you just leave this guy here, then there is nothing she can do. She can't go anywhere, she can't find anything, she's just stuck. She can't work on her own quest, and there aren't necessarily any others when she first starts. So I think this is really problematic, because I don't know about other people's quests, but at least in the beginning, unless one of the quests says go to Dol Guldur, you won't even be meeting Sauron, the mouth of Sauron. And the point is also that these guys move really slowly. I mean, I introduced the mechanic that I roll to move, but usually they only move 1 space. So, and you know, the snake moves 2, but of course you don't want to move the snake, because it's completely going to ruin Eleanor's game, which I think for some players could be very frustrating, because they'll end up sitting there and not being able to do anything, whereas Bedivere was able to complete 2 of her quests. So I have my reservations around that. I thought this was really a bit weird, in my opinion. And I could imagine that there will be players who will say, after this, I'll never play this game again. That really ruined my experience of the game, and I wouldn't even hold it against them. I think that was that's definitely something that I would see. I feel that the board is too busy when you put stuff out there that you overlook it. I mean, quite a lot of the time I didn't see that this was actually a haven because there was a plot on it. So I just put stuff in there. So I would have to somehow mark these kind of like in a three-dimensional way to make it easier to see that we're in fact looking at a haven here. There is a game playthrough video out there which is called the person is called Finbar Gamer. You might want to check him out. He does a full playthrough of this game as well. And he's actually pimped his game with three-dimensional things. He's got some... he uses black pawns from a chess game for the dark havens, and something that I think he got from some kind of... I don't know. It might have been a game by Disney with possibly some kind of Monopoly with Snow White, and she's got little castles in that, and that's of course a really brilliant idea because he just gave them, I mean they are really purple and pink and see-through, so they're transparent, so what he did was he just gave them a base coat, and they're white and they're not very big, they actually fit behind these and that's actually quite good, and I really like that, and I understand why he did it now that I've played it myself, because it does get a little bit or a lot crowded. So yeah. Other than that, of course, this was a first playthrough, and on first playthroughs, of course, you usually end up with a lot of issues where you make mistakes or where something is unclear, so it doesn't really run as smoothly as it should. Which gives you the impression of you're not making any progress, you simply don't have a grasp of the game, which is true, I don't have a grasp of this game. But it wasn't as terrible as it could have been, as it could have become. I think it is a game that I could enjoy. Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's also one of those games that isn't going to hit the table very often because it just takes very long. And it takes up so much table space that, yeah, it's, that's going to be difficult, I guess, to just, get it out because, it has to sit there for a day, and then I have to lock out the cats, and, they are unhappy. And it just takes very, very long. And like I said, I really am not sure about its replayability. Because I think that there is a certain lack of cards. And that lack of cards is quite clear to me. I don't understand why they chose to just give us so few cards. I mean, I think that I would have expected 5 more plot cards. I would have expected definitely an additional 6 to 7 I would have expected 6 beginner plots for each of the heroes, plus easily 3 advanced plots per hero. I mean, they were really stingy when it came to that, and I'm not clear why, because you just, this is going to get old very, very soon. you know, and also it's going to be very easy for the Sauron player, if you play this with somebody else, to guess what's going to happen. As soon as you see Eleanor making her way down here, you know exactly what's going to happen. So what you have to do is you just leave the snake in there. Don't move it, so she can't explore Neharad without having to encounter the snake. And then, you know, just sit there and ruin her play and ruin the game for that particular player. And I think that's just not fun. I mean, that's really not good. So it would have been a lot nicer to have more variety for the players. So that's, in my opinion, a missed opportunity. And I'm also not sure why they didn't invest more. Because if you've got this kind of franchise, I would expect you to try and go all out, but they didn't, and that's quite sad in my opinion, because the franchise is a good franchise, and you could make a lot out of it. And I mean, it is true that they're not developing for this game anymore. This game is dead. It's not going to be reprinted, and especially not now that they've got this other thing happening, this app-driven one, which, you know, I've no interest in, and I will never even look at, because I don't like app-driven games. I've certainly got some of them, but they don't do anything for me. I just find them a waste of my time. The amount of setup does not in any way correspond to the amount of enjoyment that comes from playing against a machine, as it were, in this case. Yeah, to me this is actually a missed opportunity. This game could have been great. I suppose that they were kind of trying to win against the War of the Ring, and of course a lot of these things are very similar, or would remind you of the War of the Ring, even just the setup, with the track up there where the different peoples in the War of the Ring, it's the peoples. Here it's just basically two people, two factions move along, you know, that kind of thing. So there is a lot of stuff where you kind of go, yeah, that's the War of the Ring. They saw the War of the Ring, they realised that that this was a great game, and they wanted to, you know, get in on it, get money out of this franchise as well. So they decided to do it this way, and they didn't do it well, I think. So overall, I would call this a mediocre game. It's a game. It's not a game that I would recommend. If it was available and if somebody said to me, should I buy this? I'm like, no. Buy something else. If you want to play The Lord of the Rings, by all means do. But get a good game. And a good game is The Lord of the Rings LCG. That's a really good game. Whereas this is, you know, it's a nice to have, but I think I will not play it again, because I believe that it's too much work for what I get out of it, and I also feel like there's too many might have beens in there where I go, okay, this could have been a great game, and I would probably be too sad playing it, thinking there was so much potential here, because the production value is really good. I mean, look at the map, it's awesome. But they just decided to mess it up. So, yeah, that's Middle-earth Quest by, or the German version rather, Abenteuer in Mittelerde by Fantasy Flight Games /Cosmos, 2009, no longer available. Also, my recommendation, there are copies which are really expensive, don't waste the money.